Kia ora, so who am I? I'm Zane Raymond Pakakwatu Catterall, it's my full name. E Huri Aho no Ngāti Maniapoto, me Ngāpuhi. Born and raised here in Te Haukapura, on the Devonport Peninsula. Yeah, we know this space affectionately as Ngoti Ringaringa Community Nursery, otherwise abbreviated as NCN. Been here for a few years now, and very grateful to have this awesome space to operate out of. But we operate on the smell of an oily rag and have probably some of the most committed volunteers out. Yeah. How do we find out about Plant Pass? Oh golly. Rebecca reached out to us, heard about us through, I believe, David Bowden, who knew of this tiny little nursery doing rogue stuff, growing quite unusual plants that maybe not everyone was growing at the time. And we realized pretty early on that there was significant gaps of knowledge, but we were really fortunate to go to a few early Plant Pass workshops, particularly around learning about like pest control, disease avoidance. We did a lot of workshops on myrtle rust. We are one of the very few nurseries that still grow pohutukawa. We know that there's a significant reason for that, but very fortunately, thanks to Jacinta and the crew, we've been able to take a lot of the information and knowledge that they've given us and set up our own micro nurseries that allows us to grow pohutukawa in a controlled environment that's free of myrtle rust. And to be able to say that confidently with our little tick is pretty special. Yeah, it's actually made us better nursery people for that reason. You know, when something's looking a little bit off, we're more inclined to go, okay, let's get onto it now before it spreads or before, you know, you lose something. And you know, we have a number of, well, these are all taonga obviously, but we have a few quite rare taonga in here where we have missed it and we have not, you know, before Plant Pass, we weren't aware of what the signs we were looking at. And it's meant that unfortunately that one seed that we had didn't make it, which is really heartbreaking when, you know, I guess as an example is trying to find the rimu that has fruit on it at the moment. It's been years since it's seen anything like that, and you know, you see the seedling, so you know that it's somewhere, but you can't find this mother plant, and it's frustrating. But a lot of people, when they see that Plant Pass certification, they know that we've gone through all the different hurdles and things to get certified, but I think they also know that they can trust that the product that they're receiving doesn't need to be double checked, doesn't need to be triple checked, or you know, something's not going to randomly die and they're not going to know why. And if something was to happen, we would be able to trace it back to point of origin, basically. Just really formalizing that procedure gives people a lot more confidence in the product that we're making. But I guess in a way it actually gives us a lot more confidence to grow certain types of plants that maybe we were a little too nervous to grow before. I mean, it's intimidating, and it does feel a little bit like jumping into like university papers, but I think the positives far outweigh any potential negatives. To be able to confidently give volunteers opportunities to attend workshops, to have access to brains that, you know, you'd never know about in the wild. It's only because of the Plant Pass network that you're able to kind of find these people, and we're able to actually share that information confidently with other people, and it be less of like, oh, well, in my opinion, and instead it's like, this is kind of the standard, you know? And we can still have our opinions and our thoughts and ideas, but when you have a baseline to work from, you can much more confidently give other advice or other information out to people with true confidence that what you're saying is actually factually correct. Because there's a lot of different ideas about what's right and what's wrong, and a lot of it isn't actually based in evidence. It's just on people's opinions, which is cool, you know, it's fine. That's why we get to do fun stuff, but it's, yeah, nice to have like a foundation of guidelines and framework that you work by. Yeah, I'm very grateful.